Genesis, the luxury division of Hyundai's automotive empire, has turned out many impressive vehicles in its short 7-year existence. Its cars have a cohesive, handsome design language across the board, but the South Korean brand remains invisible to many. Plus, few shoppers understand that the division has 3 pure EVs: the GV70, the electrified G80 sedan, and this, the electrified GV70. Yeah, the gas-powered 2-row SUV that Genesis can't pump out fast enough can also be had as a battery electric vehicle. The only real styling difference is the schnoz. The grille really isn't one. The cooling is done below, there are active shutters, and the stealth continues in back. No EV badging. You'll have to look for the lack of tailpipes and more aerodynamic 20-inch wheels. If you're picking one of these up, chances are it'll be at a Hyundai dealership because there are still precious few dedicated Genesis showrooms in North America. Pricing starts at $67,500. Yes, that's with shipping, as tested 74.3. Now, even though this is built in Montgomery, Alabama, it does not qualify for the federal tax credit if you're buying. If you're leasing, there's kind of a loophole. Want one? Well, track down a dealership to check availability since it's made in limited numbers and sold in only 15 states. To be clear, the eGV70 is not built on the well-regarded eGMP platform found under GV60 and Ioniq 5. The GV70 architecture was developed with electrification in mind. It's a switch hitter. The floor-mounted, liquid-cooled lithium-ion polymer pack is 77.4 kilowatt-hours. Strictly dual-motor all-wheel drive, there's 429 horsepower. For right feet to play with, which sounds like fun, but push the boost button and there's 10 seconds of battery-draining oomph with 483 horsepower and 416 pound-feet of torque. Think Porsche Sport Response button. The heads-up display is one of the better ones, with loads of useful information. Electrified GV70's single-speed transmission doesn't get the trick sphere controller from GV60, and it's easy to confuse it for the interface dial, at least for me, even after a week. Of course, there are drive modes, and those do make a difference. Sport definitely sharpens things up. There's a custom setting too. EVs make precious little sound. Genesis lets you dial in different performance tones at various volumes in the cabin if you like that kind of thing. This paddle reduces the amount of recuperation drag while coasting. This one adds to it. If you're looking for the fastest GV70, this is it right here. Car and Driver did instrumented tests, and it did the 0 to 60 dash in 4.2 seconds with boost on 3.8. Man, this thing scoots. That is so much fun. I thought I'd only use it a little bit, but man, it's kind of addictive. There is some torque steer though, and you don't run out of power at speed. So if you're passing on 2-lane roads, this is an excellent tool for that. Like all vehicles, this is less efficient when pushed hard. EVs are affected by that and cold temperatures, plus towing the maximum 3,500 pounds drops range dramatically. This will concern some. Others, especially people that charge where they sleep, won't be bothered at all. Know your needs. Let's talk range. The EPA rates this at 236 miles. I've been driving rather briskly as I do, and temperatures are in the low 60s. I'm seeing closer to 200. If I was in eco mode, driving easy, I'm guessing that I could get that EPA range. Keep in mind, the Lexus RZ450 that I tested was rated at 196 miles. I saw closer to 160. My friend has a Model Y Performance. It's rated, I think, at 303. She regularly gets about 250, 260. I did a second range test that was mostly highway driving. Average speed was around 65 miles an hour, as high as 75. Temperatures were in the mid-60s. This is always a good excuse for me to drive to Centralia, Washington to eat at one of my favorite burger places and, buy shoes that I really don't need. I tested this feature that I wish every car had: drivers distracted by their phones get a friendly reminder instead of an impatient honk from behind. I also got a halfway decent shot of the head-up display and some of its functionality. See the graphic mirroring the Honda? Pretty cool, huh? This was easy to shoot since Highway Driving Assist is an exceptionally good semi-autonomous driving tech. In cases where traffic is clear, it can easily go a minute before insisting hands on the wheel. It also feels very natural. But back to range. I figure that most people won't be comfortable with anything less than this left. In the end, I traveled 223 miles, so adding the 15 left makes the EPA estimate dead on when driving like a normal owner. The question is, will people want to spend that much time in this car? I think so. Not only is this the quickest GV70, I believe it's the best handling. Heavy batteries in the floor, low center of gravity. I had my brother-in-law in the car and I whipped around a corner and he was really impressed. It was effortless. The body was nice and flat. The heft is felt when pushing the 70 hard in a corner. The Electrified weighs 5,000 pounds or 2,270 kilos. That's 500 lbs more than a V6 GV70. Genesis nails the premium experience. The ride quality is supple but never sloppy. I would compare this favorably to the Lexus RX, but that doesn't get an electric powertrain. Those performance tones that you can switch between, I turned those off. It doesn't really match the mission of the GV70, which is luxury. This thing is nice and quiet, approaching Rolls-Royce hushness. Is hushness a word? It is now. It's so quiet, you'll notice wind rushing over the A-pillar. There's nothing to mask it. A handy piece of tech is the blind spot camera system. Other manufacturers have tried something similar. The engineers at Hyundai got it right. Somehow this is informative without being distracting. As far as the brakes go, when using the pedal to activate the physical discs, I find it a little bit grabby. And when it comes to recuperation, dial it all the way back. This thing will coast forever. Dial it all the way in. And one pedal driving is definitely a thing. And that's the great thing. You have a choice. Thinking about taking this rig off-road? Well, it's not really designed for that, even though electric all-wheel drive powertrains respond much more quickly to conditions than gas-powered setups. The Electrified GV70 has just 6.9 inches of ground clearance. A GMC Hummer EV this is not. But at the 2023 Mudfest SUV of the Year contest put on by the Northwest Automotive Press Association, the Genesis held its own. It took on the standard off-road course without too much of an issue. I find it doubtful that owners will take it on anything like this, and if they do, it won't be on a regular basis. Nice to know it can get you out of a jam, though. The Electrified GV70 may not be built on the eGMP platform, but Genesis wisely repurposes a lot of the 800-volt components. It charges just as quickly as the GV60, which is good because these vehicles are among the quickest charging EVs on the market. The max charge rate is an impressive 250 kilowatts. For road tripping, Genesis claims this juices up very fast, 10 to 80% in some 18 minutes. However, asterisk, those are ideal conditions and circumstances. For example, you'll need a 350 kilowatt charger, the right ambient temperature, and a preconditioned battery. I try to meet those. I never seem to hit those speeds. I'm always off 4 or 5 minutes. Not bad, but I'm not getting 18 minutes. And really, by the time you hit the head, grab some coffee, and return an email or two, that's easily 26 minutes, which is how long it took me to hit 80% at this 150 kilowatt charger. All EV charge curves tend to drop dramatically at that point for battery health. When traveling, it's best to move on at that point. Work the bottom of the battery for best efficiency. Cabin room is effectively the same as the gas-powered models. There was no need to mess with GV70's interior. Genesis does an exceptional job in here. All materials, and I do mean all, look and feel terrific. Other luxury brands could take lessons here. Small details pop up all over. Knurled patterns look spendy. Edges here are finished, not rough plastic. Many compartments are lined to keep rattles down. There are lots of ovals, something you'd expect from Ford, huh? Tasteful ambient lighting too, select from hundreds of colors. The camera system is sophisticated too. If you're looking to impress, GV70 does just that. It can even be started using this fingerprint sensor. Supportive leather seats, Napa in this case, are heated and vented. The driver even gets a mild massage. They're very adjustable. These should fit any human nicely. Genesis's user interface is visually appealing and has good touch response. The screen is a bit of a reach for the driver, especially smaller ones. That's what this is for. Again, it can be confused for the transmission selector. I'll assume that owners will get used to this. There are also enough hard buttons, so adjusting the HVAC system is easy enough. Shortcuts for the interface too, including an assignable button. Let's say people have parked so close to you that you can't get into the car to move it. Not a problem. Just use the key fob. It will move all by itself, nobody behind the wheel. And if something gets in its way, it'll stop automatically. Glad that worked. The wireless charging pad is vented to keep phones cool. Curiously, a car this high-tech uses the old USB ports. And for now at least, Android Auto and Apple CarPlay require the phone to be plugged in. It's not wireless. That might be changing. The upgraded Lexicon sound system in this Prestige model is excellent if you're an audiophile. It helps that the car is exceptionally quiet. You of course know what I'm going to ask, right? I'd never assume anything. Is the back seat of the gas and the electric GV70 the same? I knew you'd ask that. That's so obvious. I mean, they're kind of the same. We're both 5'9". Headroom, pretty good. Same with knee, leg, and foot room. Cushions are high enough so that thigh support is excellent. The cushions are high enough for that. Door openings a little bit on the small side if you're getting big car seats in and out all the time. You got your door pockets and built-in sunshades, always nice. Pockets on both seat backs, covered. Separate climate zone back here, heated seats. That's stuff I like. Phones and tablets can be charged. Kind of surprised these aren't USB-C. On the passenger side, you can give yourself a little extra room or just mess with the person sitting up front. The big difference is here, the gas model has a large spine with a drive shaft running through it. This being an EV, that's been eliminated. It opens up space here. This bench does not slide fore and aft to max out leg or cargo room. It's the classic case of belts for three, which will be fine for kids, or if you're putting grown-ups back here, keep it to two. You can put 3 adults back here, but for going across town. And don't make it a long trip. I like this hatch release, it keeps hands cleaner. Also, there's a setting where if you just stand by the back door, it'll open automatically. You don't have to do the kick to open thing. There is no spare tire, at least there's room to properly store the security shade. This is the vehicle to load adapter that lets you run electric devices off the car, which is great for when you're camping, or you can just use the outlet back here. Smaller drivers will appreciate the remote seat releases. Unfortunately, there isn't a 40-20-40 split or a pass-through. The seats can be dropped from here too. In max cargo mode, there's 56.5 cubic feet. The 70 isn't a large machine, but that's decent space. Compared to the gasoline version, things remain pretty much the same back here. There's nearly 29 cubic feet of space to fill up. When I did the petrol-powered GV70, it scored an 8. The electrified version does the same. Now, there is a little bit of space up front. It's really only good for storing the charge cord. Time to sum this up with red light, green light. Green light. The electrified looks like a regular GV70 inside and out, and that's a very good thing. It does luxury very well, but also backs that up with acceleration and handling approaching performance cars. Charging speed is among the best you'll find in an EV. There's lots of great tech that's not just for show, it's useful stuff. Yellow lights. With just a little restraint, it can match the EPA range estimates, but 236 miles is still short for some buyers. I think the price tag is a fair deal, but the bargain in this price is Cadillac Lyriq if you can get your hands on one. This is a useful SUV, but considering it's a premium machine, it should at least have a ski pass-through. Red light. I find the brake pedal calibration to be abrupt and grabby, and there's some torque steer under hard throttle. The interface knob can be too easy to confuse with the transmission selector. The electrified is not available in all states, and Genesis needs to build more dedicated showrooms. People don't want to buy and service their luxury vehicles at a Hyundai dealership. Shoppers that are considering an Audi Q4 e-tron, Lexus RZ450e, Cadillac Lyriq, Tesla Model Y, or Mercedes EQB would be smart to test drive the electrified GV70. The package as a whole offers sophistication and refinement. I've said this time and time again, electrification really suits luxury vehicles well. In my opinion, this is the best GV70 you can buy. It's super quiet, it's comfortable, but it's sporty, it handles really well, and it's powerful. What else do you want? I know some people will say 400 miles of range, but I don't really think you need that. Those that have lived with electric vehicles know what I'm talking about. EVs do have their drawbacks, mostly when doing long-distance travel. The Genesis Electrified GV70 is a vehicle more people should know about. Switching from gas to electron power has never been so stealthy or rewarding. One curious thing I'll point out, if you go to the Genesis configurator and build one of these yourself, you'll find that all of the paint colors will cost you. There isn't a base no-charge paint, which is sometimes white. You're going to be spending at least $575. And in case you're wondering, no, you can't just get it in primer. Ladies and gentlemen, Martin Campbell. He drives while I shoot running footage. He also shoots the thumbnails. He's always photographing. He's an excellent still photographer. What's your Instagram handle?
I don't remember.
I'm supering it here. Very, very avid Instagram user. I think both Martin and I need to get better at promotion. Before I go, a quick story for you that I wish I would have caught on camera. I was shooting this, and this guy came up to me, as people do, and he commented on how beautiful the car was, and I agreed. And he followed up by saying, "Too bad it's such a fossil." And I said, sorry, what? He goes, "A fossil. Nobody's buying gas-powered cars anymore. Everyone's buying EVs. I have 2 Teslas, and I'm never going to buy anything else." And I tried to explain to him that this was a pure electric vehicle. I even showed him the charge port, but he's like, you know, they're just making plug-in hybrids, that's all. I don't know. That's not to paint all Tesla owners with the same brush, okay? Because there are plenty of great Tesla owners. This guy was just being this guy, right? Humans, you know, as a species, we're just this far out of the cave. Thanks for watching. Hey, subscribe to my channel. You're here at the end. You must have enjoyed it. Click notifications. Follow me on social media, Facebook, post, Twitter. Leave a question there if you've got it. And if you don't do social media, just leave it here in the comments. I'll try to get to you. That's Driven. I'm Tom Volk.